Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to today's Finance 360-degree session. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the Digital Rupee, that is your e-Rupee, the central bank digital currency. Okay. Now, recently the Reserve Bank of India has updated the frequently asked questions regarding the Digital Rupee, and in the frequently asked questions, there have been the details that have been given for the Digital Rupee. So we will discuss that what is this e-Rupee, what is the retail CBDC, what is the wholesale CBDC, how is it helpful, how many banks have adopted it, how the pilot is going on. Okay, and we will discuss about the programmability feature and the offline functionality of the e-Rupee. So the FAQs have been updated by the Reserve Bank of India recently regarding this e-Rupee, and we will discuss in detail about this e-Rupee as it is very important from your descriptive point of view, from the RBI Grade B examination point of view. Okay, so let's get started without any delay. I hope I'm clearly audible and the screen is visible. Okay, so good morning everyone, and let's get started. Chalo. So before starting with the session, do subscribe to the YouTube channel of EduTap so that you continue getting the relevant videos, and do join our Telegram channel where you will get the PDF of the session, and the link for the Telegram channel is provided in the description box below. So now we are going to start with the Digital Rupee, the e-Rupee. So first of all, see, Digital Rupee is the India's central bank digital currency. It is the country's central bank digital currency that is issued by the Reserve Bank of India. Now you know that the Reserve Bank of India has the right to issue and create the currency, the banknotes. Okay. So the Reserve Bank of India in India, Reserve Bank of India is the one that issues the banknotes, And now this Digital Rupee, e-Rupee, it is the central bank digital currency that is issued by the Reserve Bank of India. Okay. Now the central bank digital currency, or the e-Rupee, the Digital Rupee, is the digital form of India's physical currency. So this e-Rupee is nothing new. It is just the digital form of India's physical currency. So you have the banknotes, you have the money in your hands, let's say. So instead of holding the cash, now you can hold this Digital Rupee, that is your e-Rupee basically. Okay, so that is the idea, that the digital Rupee, it is the digital form of India's physical currency. It is at par with the physical currency. It provides the same functionality as the cash that you hold, the physical currency that you hold. So you can use the physical currency for transactions, for paying to someone. Similarly, you can use the e-Rupee for the same functions. Okay, so the Digital Rupee is at par with the physical currency, offering the features similar to physical cash, like convenience of use, guarantee of the Reserve Bank of India, finality of settlement, and such. So in terms of section 26 of the RBI Act of 1934, every e-Rupee banknote shall be legal tender. So like your cash, the physical currency that you hold, it is a legal tender. That means you can use it in India to pay or to do the transaction, and the other party cannot deny to take the money. Okay, so you can use the cash, the physical currency, to pay for the loans, to pay back your debt, or to do any kind of transaction. Similarly, the e-Rupee is also a legal tender. This is also a legal tender that can be used to pay back your debt, that can be used for any kind of transaction and such. So every e-Rupee banknote shall be legal tender at any place in India and is guaranteed by the central government. So like your legal tender, the physical cash, it is guaranteed by the government. Similarly, the e-Rupee is also your legal tender that is guaranteed by the central government. So e-Rupee being a digital form of the rupee banknote, so e-Rupee is nothing else. It is the digital form of the physical currency. This is the legal tender and the liability of the Reserve Bank of India. So it is the liability of the Reserve Bank of India to issue the banknotes and to maintain the value of the banknotes, to maintain the value of the currency. So I hope first of all you have the brief idea about the Digital Rupee. That is the physical, that is the digital form of your physical currency. Now, what is the logo and tagline for India CBDC? So the logo is this, that is e-Rupee. Okay, this is the logo, and cash but digital. This is the tagline for India CBDC. So this is the brief idea about the Digital Rupee. Digital Rupee is the India central bank digital currency. That is your legal tender that is issued by the Reserve Bank of India. It is guaranteed by the central government. It is the liability of the Reserve Bank of India. So rather than holding the physical cash that can get soiled, that can get stolen. Okay, that can, like, you might lose it. So instead of carrying the physical cash, you can carry the e-Rupee. The e-Rupee, of course, it is the digital form of your physical currency, so it will not get soiled. The banknotes will not get soiled. Okay, if they are stolen, let's say your mobile phone, in which you have the wallet. In your mobile phone, you are keeping the e-Rupee. In your mobile phone, in the e-Rupee wallet, you are keeping your e-Rupee. If your mobile phone is stolen, you can use your phone number to retrieve the e-Rupee wallet. So you can understand that the e-Rupee, it has more security in comparison to the physical cash. If you, in your mobile phone, you have the e-Rupee wallet where you are keeping your e-Rupee, where you are keeping, let's say, 10,000 rupees, and let's say your mobile phone is getting stolen. In this case, you can use your phone number to retrieve your e-Rupee wallet, or you can ask the bank, or you can ask from where you have got the e-Rupee wallet, you can ask to block the e-Rupee wallet. So you can understand that this has more security. The e-Rupee wallets and the e-Rupee has more security. Now let's understand about it more, then you have more clarity. Okay, so first of all, coming to the retail CBDC. Retail CBDC is actually the central bank digital currency that will be used by the people like you and me. Okay, so the people in the country will be using the retail CBDC, okay. So this is the central bank digital currency that is for us for the transactions. So e-Rupee can be held and transacted through e-Rupee wallets offered by banks and non-banks for your person to person or person to merchant transactions. So these are the currently 19 banks are offering CBDC wallets. The name and the link has been given. Here you can see that these are the banks that are offering the e-Rupee wallet in the Android and the iOS systems. So this is the idea. Okay, so e-Rupee can be held. You can hold the e-Rupee like you are holding your cash in your wallet. Right, in your physical wallet, you are holding the physical cash in your physical wallet. You can hold the e-Rupee in the e-Rupee wallets that have more security system. Okay, so e-Rupee can be held and transacted through e-Rupee wallets offered by banks and non-banks for the person to person and the person to merchant transactions. One can start using the e-Rupee wallet by downloading the e-Rupee application. So you can download the e-Rupee application, and as I have account in PNB, so I try to download the PNB Digital Rupee application, and this was the logo. Okay, this is the logo. So PNB Digital Rupee application you can download, and here you will get the e-Rupee wallet from the PNB, from the Punjab National Bank. Okay, so the PNB is also providing the e-Rupee wallets, PNB Digital Rupee. So here you are getting the e-Rupee wallet. So e-Rupee can be held and transacted through e-Rupee wallets offered by banks and non-banks for the person to person and person to merchant transactions. One can start using the e-Rupee wallet by downloading the e-Rupee app from the Play Store. If you have account in SBI, you can download the SBI e-Rupee by SBI, or if you have account in ICICI Bank, you can download Digital Rupee by ICICI Bank. Okay, and such and such. Now, the creation and issuance. Remember this, that the Reserve Bank of India is the one that creates and issues, or the RBI is the one that issues the physical cash. So the creation and the issuance of retail e-Rupee, the retail CBDC, is identical to issuance of paper currency. Like the RBI is issuing the paper currency, similarly RBI issues the e-Rupee also. The RBI issues the e-Rupee also. RBI creates e-Rupee and issues them to the banks and non-banks electronically. So here the benefit is that the e-Rupee is cheaper in comparison to the physical cash. If the RBI is issuing the physical cash, there is the printing cost, there is the transportation cost, because the physical currency has to be transported from the RBI to the different banks. There is the security cost. Okay, there is storage cost, because the physical cash has to be stored in the banks, in the vaults, or in the ATMs and such. So the physical cash has more transaction cost. The physical cash has a higher cost for the RBI, as there is the printing cost, transportation cost, security cost, and storage cost. While the e-Rupee, that is the digital rupee, or that is the electronic rupee, we can say it is cheaper. It has a lesser transaction cost, as there is no printing requirement, there is no transportation requirement. RBI creates the e-Rupee and issues them to the banks and non-banks electronically. There is no requirement to take the technology from other countries because we have our own technology. Okay, so this is the idea that RBI itself can create the e-Rupee and can issue them to the banks and non-banks electronically. So there is no such transportation cost, there is no such storage cost or printing cost and such. These banks and non-banks onboard customers. Now RBI has issued the e-Rupee to the banks or non-banks. This e-Rupee, the banks and non-banks onboard the customers and provide e-Rupee wallets that can be accessed through the mobile phones. So the e-Rupee that the banks or non-banks have got, the e-Rupee can be transferred to the customers as per your requirement. Okay, so similarly, like you have your money in the bank and you are taking out the money in the cash form. So rather than taking out the money in the cash form, you can take out the money through your e-Rupee wallets. Okay, so you will not have to go to the ATMs and such. You can directly from your account, you can take out the money to your e-Rupee wallets. So that is the idea. So the creation and issuance of the retail e-Rupee is identical to the issuance of paper currency. RBI is involved in this process. RBI creates the e-Rupee and issues them to the banks and non-banks, which can further transfer it to the customers. E-Rupee issuance, distribution and usage within the retail segment. As I've told you, retail CBDC is the central bank digital currency that we are using. Retail CBDC helps in the person-to-person transactions and person-to-merchant transactions. Okay, this is live in pilot mode with effect from December 1, 2022. So remember that the central bank digital currency, this e-Rupee, has not been rolled out in the whole of the country right now. Just the pilot is going on. Like before doing the census, before going to each and every home, before doing the census, there is survey that happens where the selected houses or selected people are chosen for collecting the data. Basically, similarly, before rolling out the e-Rupee for the whole of the country, before rolling out the CBDC for the whole of the country, there is the pilot that is going on, where in a controlled environment there is the testing that is happening, that how much is the acceptance, what the architecture or the technology behind the e-Rupee, is it working in a fine manner, the people, are they able to use it in a successful manner or not. Okay, so there is a pilot that is going on. There are limited banks that are offering the CBDC wallets, and the limited customers right now, the customers of these banks, they are able to get this central bank digital wallets, or they are able to get the e-Rupee wallets. So right now there is a pilot that is going on, and this pilot started from December 1, 2022, and still there is the pilot that is going on. The limited banks, they are offering the CBDC wallets to their customers. That is the idea. So currently the users and merchants of identified pilot banks and non-banks across the country can use the e-Rupee. So these are the limited number of banks that are offering the CBDC wallets or the e-Rupee wallets. So right now there is the pilot that is going on to test the technology, to test the architecture of the e-Rupee wallets, to test the acceptance amongst the people and such. This is the idea. Now, as we have discussed about the e-Rupee wallets, let's understand that how they work. So this is your e-Rupee wallet. I'm taking the example of Punjab National Bank PNB Digital Rupee wallet. Okay, so e-Rupee wallet, you can just go to the Play Store and download the e-Rupee wallet, the PNB Digital Rupee, or whichever app, like bank you have account in, you can download the e-Rupee wallet from that bank account. Okay, from that bank basically. So e-Rupee, India's central bank digital currency powered by your bank. Basically, first you will have to decide that which SIM you will be using, basically which phone number you will be using, okay, to access the e-Rupee wallets and to continue with the e-Rupee wallets, so that later on when your, let's say, mobile phone is stolen, your mobile phone in which you had the e-Rupee wallet, it got stolen. Now you do not have to worry about it, because you can access your e-Rupee wallet through the phone number. Okay, so even if your mobile number is stolen, even if your mobile phone is stolen, you can access your e-Rupee wallet through the, you can access your e-Rupee wallet, okay, through the mobile phone, through the mobile number, sorry. So this is the idea. You have to first decide that which number you are going to use. Okay, after that you put the PIN, and then you can access the Digital Rupee wallet. Here you can see that you can send the money, you can collect the money, you can load the money, you can redeem it. So this is the basic idea. Okay, now how the money will be looking here. So the same currency that you have, like 5 rupee, 10 rupee, 20 rupee, 50 rupee, 500 rupee. So the same denomination that we have in the physical currency, the same denomination is there in the e-Rupee also. So the same denomination is in the e-Rupee also. And the good thing is that usually when you use the cash, let's say you have to give 15 rupees, but you actually have 20 rupee note. Now the shopkeeper can say that, okay, I do not have chutta, I do not have the change, so you might not be able to purchase the product. But in the e-Rupee case, what happens that let's say you have a e-Rupee note of 20 denomination. What will happen that when you pay, you are paying 15 rupees. So 5 rupees will come back to your account, will come back to your e-Rupee wallet. So there is no worry about the change that you need to have. Even if you have a 500 bank note, even if you have a 500 e-Rupee note, e-Rupee, if you have a 500 e-Rupee, you have to pay 20 rupees. So you can pay the 20 rupees and the rest of the amount will come in your e-Rupee wallet. So basically the change, the worry about the change, the worry about the chutta is not there, because through the e-Rupee wallet, through the e-Rupee directly, the amount will go that is required, okay, that you are putting. Even in the point also you can pay. So that is the benefit. Now the offline feature of e-Rupee. So till now we have discussed about the retail CBDC. I hope you have got the basic idea that how you can use the Digital Rupee, how you can use the Digital Rupee wallet. I have brought this example also, and I have told you that if your mobile phone got stolen, you do not have to worry, because you can use your phone number to retrieve the e-Rupee wallet, okay, as well as the banks are directly connected, so you can ask the bank to block your e-Rupee wallet also, okay. So now coming to the next part, that is offline feature of e-Rupee enables the user to transact in locations with limited or no internet connectivity. So basically, if we want the e-Rupee to be nearer and to be more identical to the physical cash, physical currency, we need the e-Rupee to be available in the offline mode also. Because e-Rupee is the digital rupee, it is the digital rupee. So the problem is that it is working when you have the network, when you have the internet. But the physical cash, we can use the physical cash in our villages. Like whenever I'm going to my village, I know that the UPI ecosystem will not work very smoothly. The digital transactions will not work very smoothly. So I need to carry the physical cash to my village. Now it is said that the e-Rupee, it is similar to your physical cash. So the e-Rupee should also be available on the offline mode, so that I can pay using the e-Rupee even in my village area, even in the farmost areas of the country, right? So there is the offline feature of e-Rupee that is being developed right now. As I've told you that the retail CBDC and the CBDC central bank digital currency, it is in the pilot mode. Still now the testing is going on. Still now the technology, the architecture is being developed of the central bank digital currency. So offline feature of the e-Rupee, it will enable the user to transact in locations with limited or no internet connectivity. So currently there are different solutions that are being explored. One solution facilitates transactions without internet, but still requires telecom connectivity. Your mobile signals should be there. So internet will not be required. The internet will not be required, but your mobile signals should be present, okay. So one solution facilitates transactions without internet but still requires the telecom connectivity, while another solution facilitates transaction using the near field communication technology. Like you might have seen the credit cards that you can tap or debit cards that you can tap, and directly the POS, through the POS machine, the transaction happens. So you do not have to put the pin, you do not have to put anything else, just you have to tap the card and the transaction goes through. Similarly, this near field communication technology is being developed further or is being explored, so that it can be used for the e-Rupee also. In the offline transaction scenario, you just will have to tap your mobile phone and the POS machine will be able to get the money, okay. So this is the idea, that another solution facilitates transactions in the offline mode using the near field communication technology on merchant POS terminals. Now you can understand that these kind of POS machines might not be present in the far off areas, in the village areas, and that's why there are further solutions that are required and different solutions are being explored, okay. No, we will discuss about the difference between the e-Rupee and the UPI, because e-Rupee is what and UPI is what, the main distinction we will discuss, okay. So do not worry about that. For ease of use, e-Rupee is available in the same denominations as the physical currency, but physical currency can get sold, it can get stolen. There is less security because you are keeping the money in your pocket and it can get out easily. You are taking something out from your pocket, it can get down, or it might leap out of your pocket or something, or someone can steal it. But in the case of e-Rupee, the good thing is that the e-Rupee wallet is protected by different pins, as well as the e-Rupee wallet, you can retrieve the wallet using your phone number that you had used for accessing the e-Rupee wallet. Okay, so it is a safer option, I can say. The e-Rupee, it is the digital rupee, and no one can get in your e-Rupee wallet until they have the pin. That is harder to get. Okay, this provides the users, so e-Rupee is available in the same denomination as the physical currency. This provides the users with the same familiarity and the convenience. There are no charges or fees associated with using the e-Rupee or the e-Rupee wallets, given the cash-like feature, because your cash, if you hold the cash, if you are holding the cash with yourself, do you get any interest? No. If you hold your e-Rupee in your e-Rupee wallets, you will get no interest. So basically, if you are keeping the cash in your physical wallets, if you're keeping the physical currency in the physical wallet, you get no interest. Similarly, the e-Rupee that you are keeping in your e-Rupee wallets, you will get no interest, because there is the this is the cash-like feature of the e-Rupee, that you will get no interest if you are keeping the e-Rupee in your e-Rupee wallet. If you want to get the interest, you will have to keep the money in the bank accounts. Okay, so that is the idea. Now, coming to the difference between the e-Rupee and the UPI, understanding the digital rupee and the payment ecosystem. So the basic difference between the e-Rupee and the UPI is that the e-Rupee is a currency. E-Rupee is a digital form of the currency, while the UPI is a payment system through which the payment happens between the bank accounts. Okay, so let's discuss the difference between the e-Rupee and the UPI. E-Rupee is a digital form of rupee. E-Rupee is a currency. Okay, it is the Indian currency that is a legal tender. That is a legal tender as per the RBI Act of 1934. While the UPI, this is a means of payment. UPI is a means of payment. This is a payment ecosystem. So e-Rupee is basically the e-Rupee is very much different from the UPI. E-Rupee is a currency. It is the digital form of the currency. It is the Indian currency. It is the legal tender. While the UPI is just a payment ecosystem. It is a means of payment. In addition of being used for payments, the e-Rupee, in addition of being used for the transactions, e-Rupee also serve as store of value. Think about it. You are holding the cash. I'm holding the cash with myself. I am keeping 500 rupees with myself, so that whenever I require in the case of emergency, I can pay using the cash. Similarly, e-Rupee is what? E-Rupee is the digital form of your physical currency. E-Rupee is the digital form of your physical currency. So e-Rupee has the same features as the cash. So if you're holding the e-Rupee, you are keeping the store of value with yourself. You're keeping the value with yourself, so that in the precautionary circumstances, in the unforeseen circumstances, in the immediate basis, you can use the money. Okay, so basically, like you hold the cash to use it in the case of emergency, you hold the e-Rupee to be used in the case of emergency. So the cash that you are holding or the e-Rupee that you are holding, they provide the store of value. You are storing the value with yourself to be used in the case of emergency. Okay, this is the idea. So e-Rupee also serves as a store of value like the cash. You are storing the value with yourself. You are keeping the value with yourself in your physical wallet or in the digital wallet. So cash is stored in your physical wallet. You are not keeping the cash lying just like that, right? You are storing the cash in your pockets or in your physical wallet. You are storing the e-Rupee in the e-Rupee wallet rather than physical wallet. Okay, so they both provide the store of value function. E-Rupee can be withdrawn from one bank account and kept separately in the e-Rupee wallet. Like in the case of cash, you have got your salary. Let's say you have got 10,000 rupees in your bank account. You are retrieving the money and you are taking out 5,000 rupees from the ATM. You have taken out the money and you are keeping it in the form of cash in your physical wallet. Similarly, what happens that, let's say you have got the salary of 10,000. Now you know that you will be using 5,000 on the regular basis. So you are taking out this 5,000 in the form of e-Rupee and you are keeping it in your e-Rupee wallet. This is the idea. So e-Rupee can be withdrawn from one's bank account and kept separately in the e-Rupee wallet. So e-Rupee has the store of value function just like your cash. So like you withdraw the money, the users, they withdraw the money from their bank account to keep it in cash in the physical wallet form. Similarly, the e-Rupee can be taken out to be kept in the e-Rupee wallet. Why? If you are keeping the money in your e-Rupee wallet, immediate transactions can happen with the other e-Rupee wallet. Okay, instantaneous transactions can happen. So money is kept separately from commercial banks directly in the e-wallet, e-Rupee wallet. This is the idea. Okay. So in the case, so e-Rupee is a digital form of rupee. It is a currency. E-Rupee is a currency. It is a legal tender. UPI, is it a currency? Is it a legal tender? No, it is a means of payment used for transfer via bank accounts. So e-Rupee is a digital form of rupee, a store of value in e-Rupee account. You are storing the value in your wallets, in the e-Rupee wallet. UPI is a means of payment used for transfers via bank accounts. So CBDC QR payments. So CBDC QR payments can happen if you have the money in your e-Rupee wallet. So you can use, so if you have the money in the e-Rupee wallets, you can use the CBDC QR code. You can use the CBDC QR codes, and here the e-Rupee to e-Rupee transaction happen. Okay. So let's say that Avnish has a e-Rupee wallet. I will scan from my e-Rupee wallet, I will scan the QR code of the e-Rupee wallet of Avnish, and directly the transfer will happen. Okay. So this is the transfer from e-Rupee wallet to another e-Rupee wallet, and this kind of transfer is instant. It does not require much complications, and the offline feature is being explode, and soon the offline feature will come, and then the e-Rupee to e-Rupee wallet, e-Rupee wallet to e-Rupee wallet transaction will be immediate without the requirement of network, without the requirement of any other thing. Okay, here the bank accounts are not involved. Directly from your e-Rupee wallet, the money is going to the other e-Rupee wallet, so it is instant settlement that is happening, instant settlement. While in the UPI case, in the UPI QR codes, what happen that you scan the UPI, like if you are using your e-Rupee wallet, you are using your e-Rupee wallet. Let's say Avnish is using his e-Rupee wallet. He is scanning the UPI QR code. So UPI QR code can be scanned for payment also. Okay. So you can use your e-Rupee to pay through the UPI also. So you are scanning the UPI QR code through the e-Rupee wallet, and from your bank, like this will lead to bank settlement because the UPI QR code is linked with the bank account of the other person. So basically what is happening, that if you are scanning the CBDC QR code, if you are scanning the CBDC QR code, then in this case the transaction is happening between e-Rupee wallet to another e-Rupee wallet, and this kind of transaction happens instantaneously. So both of you, Avnish and me, both of us have e-Rupee wallet, so we are able to do the instant transaction. If let's say I don't have the e-Rupee wallet, I have the UPI ecosystem, and I have the UPI QR code, I have the UPI Google Pay or Phone Pay app I have, so I am showing the UPI QR code. So Avnish is using his e-wallet to pay to my UPI, to pay to my bank account. So basically from his e-Rupee wallet, the money is going to my bank account, so it will require the bank settlement that can take the time, okay, based on UPI timeline. So this is the idea. So basically, in case of the person-to-person and person-to-merchant transactions made at any CBDC QR, the transactions happen between two e-Rupee wallets because the CBDC QR code is being used, the wallet QR code is being used, so the transaction will happen instantaneously without passing through the user's bank account. But let's say that the CBDC, the other person does not have the CBDC QR code, the other person does not have the e-Rupee wallet. So for the person-to-person or person-to-merchant transaction, the functionality of scanning a UPI QR code from e-Rupee app. So from the e-Rupee wallet, you can scan the UPI QR code and you can send the money to the bank account of the other person. That is the idea. Yes. So see what happens, that like you can use your own ecosystem, or let's say a merchant does not have the UPI, it does not have the e-Rupee wallet, so you can use the UPI ecosystem also. Okay. So e-Rupee wallets soon. Right now the pilot is going on, so not many people have e-Rupee. Let's say I have the e-Rupee wallet and the merchant does not have the e-Rupee wallet, so I can use my e-Rupee wallet to pay to the merchant. So there is the transferability that is allowed, okay, so that the e-Rupee is not stuck in your wallet. You can use the e-Rupee in the UPI ecosystem also. You can use the e-Rupee directly also to send to the money to the other's account. I hope this is clear now, Nitin. The offline functionality is being seen. So it depends on how the function develops. Right now, the offline functionality is being explored. It is not complete, right? So maybe the technology might come out. Maybe the RBI, NPCI, they are able to see that yes, there is some scope to send the money in the offline way through the e-Rupee wallet to the UPI ecosystem also. Okay, so right now it is in the pilot form. Now coming to the programmability feature, we have discussed about the retail CBDC. Now let's discuss about the programmability feature in the retail CBDC. Any confusion anyone has now? See, programmability feature allows the sponsor entity, the government, corporate, or user to ensure that the funds in the CBDC wallets are used for specific designated purpose. Let's say that a student in a school is getting a scholarship. Okay, is getting a scholarship. Now, we want that the scholarship should be used for paying the school fees, or let's say the student is in a school and the government is paying the scholarship. The government is giving the scholarship, okay, of let's say rupees 5,000 per month. So the government wants that this should be used for the education only. This should be used for paying the fees, for buying the books, for buying the necessary equipments for the school, maybe the sports equipment and the school dress and such. So what can happen that this the government scholarship is being sent to the student's e-Rupee wallet. So every month, the government scholarship will be sent to the e-Rupee wallet of the student. Now, student has got 5,000 rupees every month. Okay, so 5,000 rupees the student has got. Now, there is a programmability feature in the e-Rupee wallets. If the government is sending the money to the student, the government can program this e-Rupee, that is rupees 5,000. The government can program this e-Rupee 5,000 that this money can only be used at a specified merchant location. That is, this money can only be used in the bookstores, in the sports stores, or in the education system in the schools and such. So this is the programmability feature that when you are sending the money, you can also program the money. Okay, and this is basically being used by the government, corporates and such. So programmability feature allows the sponsor entity that is sponsoring, it can be government or corporate or user. Let's take an example of the corporate also. Let's say the corporate is giving you some food coupons. Either the corporate can give you the food coupons that are the separate coupons, or the corporate can send rupees 2,000 on the monthly basis to your e-Rupee wallet. And this money has been programmed so that this money can only be used in the food courts and such. So programmability feature allows the sponsor entity, it can be government or corporate or user, to ensure that the funds in the CBDC wallets are used for a specific designated purpose. The digital rupee can be programmed based on different conditions. Merchant category code, the money can be used only for certain types of merchants, let's say for food courts, education institutions, or fuel and such. Merchant virtual payment address, that is, the money can be spent only with a specific merchants. Okay, expiry date, the money must be used before a certain date, and geolocation, the money can only be spent in a specific location. Maybe the money is for the hilly area, so money can be spent only in the hilly area. So you can understand that there is also the programmability feature, and this programmability feature can be used while paying the subsidies. So LPG subsidies are given, or let's say there are subsidies that is given for fuel, the interest rate subsidies are given, there are various kind of subsidies that are given. Direct benefit transfer is happening. So the government wants that if the fertilizer subsidy is given, if the government is giving the fertilizer subsidy, so that money, let's say government is giving rupees 500 for the fertilizers, so that should only be used in the case of fertilizer, for buying the fertilizer. So there can be a merchant virtual payment address or merchant category code that can be added, that this money can only be used for buying the fertilizers. So currently the programmability use cases are being explored across direct benefit transfer, so that the money, if the money is sent for the scholarship, the money should not be taken by the parents for their household expenses. The money should be spent on education only. So if the money is being spent for the education, if the money is being given for education by the government, the money should be used in education. If the money is being given for food, the money should be used for the food. If the money is given for the fuel, the money should be used in the fuel category. So currently the programmability use cases are being explored across direct benefit transfers, interest subvention scheme, lending. Let's say there are certain lendings like the farm loans, micro, small and medium enterprise loans. Certain loans, they are having lesser interest rate. As per the government intervention, the interest rate is lesser. So in these kind of loans, the money should be spent. If the farm loan is taken with lesser interest rate, so money should be spent in the farmlands. If the money is taken by the MSMEs, so money should be spent in the MSME only. Okay, as well as the farm loans, like they are collateral free till a limit. They are collateral free loans. So it is seen that the money is used in the farmlands or in the agriculture space only. Okay, so for the lending also, e-Rupee can be given, that okay, you are taking the loan of 2 lakh rupees, so directly e-Rupee will be given, so that this money is spent for the farmlands. This money is spent in the farm, in the agriculture. If the money is given to micro, small and if the money is given to the micro and small enterprises, okay, let's say this is collateral free loan up to the limit of 20 lakhs. Okay, so if the money is given, so basically it is seen that the money is used, and it is programmed that this e-Rupee is used in the case of micro and small enterprises only. So that is the idea. Okay, chalo, now coming to the wholesale. Okay, now coming to the wholesale CBDC. Okay, Aditya has a question that our transactions get tracked. So basically it has been said by the Reserve Bank of India. See, there are two phases. RBI has said that we will not be tracking the transactions. Okay, we will not be tracking the transactions, and there is the privacy feature that is being brought, like you have incognito mode in Google and such, so where your history is safeguarded or your privacy is safeguarded. Similarly, RBI is saying that when you are using the e-Rupee, the retail CBDC is being used, then the RBI will not be tracking the money. Okay, because this is the digital footprints will be left, but the RBI will not be tracking the money. You can use the money. But if the transaction is happening of large volumes which can be connected to money laundering, then the RBI can track the e-Rupee. Basically, if you are doing the transactions that are the small transactions, and you are doing the transactions that is not related to money laundering and such, that is not related to huge volumes, then you don't have to worry about the privacy. Especially remember that the population is huge. We have huge population of more than 1 billion. So the RBI will not be tracking each and every transaction of each and every person. But yes, if big transactions related to money laundering that is happening through e-Rupee, that can be tracked. And this will be good for the country only, because the corruption and the money laundering, these kind of things might reduce if e-Rupee is used extensively rather than using the cash. Okay, so a good citizen do not have to worry about the privacy, or a good citizen does not have to worry about such kind of feature. Okay, if you are leaving the digital footprint, that is fine. You are using the UPI for various transactions anyway. If you are using the e-Rupee, that will be fine also. Okay, e-Rupee. Now wholesale CBDC. What is the wholesale CBDC? Are we using the currency in the wholesale manner? How is it making sense? So wholesale CBDC, wholesale central bank digital currency, is designed for use by financial institutions and intermediaries, primarily to streamline the interbank settlements. You can understand that between the banks there are huge crores worth of transaction that is happening. You can understand that the retail retail CBDC, the retail e-Rupee is kept separately, that we will be using from the wholesale CBDC, from the wholesale e-Rupee that will be used by the banks and such. So e-Rupee wholesale is designed for use by the financial institutions and intermediaries, primarily to streamline the interbank settlements, because the banks are the banks themselves are borrowing from each other, they are lending to each other, the check transactions or check settlements have to happen and such. So interbank settlements and large value transactions can happen through the wholesale CBDC. It operates works within a restricted ecosystem. Wholesale CBDC is working in a restricted ecosystem. It is only working for the financial institutions and intermediaries. It enhances the efficiency, speed, security of wholesale payment systems by using the functionality of programming and smart contracts. Okay, so money can be programmed. Again, here also money can be programmed and the smart contracts can be made, so that let's say a bank X is buying government securities worth 100 crores from the bank Y. Okay, there is the secondary market transaction that is happening. The banks themselves are trading in the government securities. So bank X is buying the government securities from the bank Y worth 100 crores. So a smart contract can be made in which a program can be created, or like a statement is given that as soon as the government security is received by the bank X, the money will be automatically released to the bank Y. So this is a self-executing digital agreement that has a clause that as soon as the bank X get the government securities, the money will be released for the bank Y. So you can understand that this the payments will become faster. The bank Y will not have to worry that when the money will come, and the bank X cannot delay the payment. Immediately the payment will happen between the banks also. And if the borrowing is done by the bank X from the bank Y, let's say overnight borrowing is done, that is for one day the borrowing is done. Bank X is borrowing 1000 crore rupees from the bank Y. So by the next day, immediately the smart contract can be there. Immediately by the next day, the money has to be transferred from the bank X to the bank Y. So this is the idea, that the wholesale CBDC makes the transactions faster, more efficient and more transparent also to be tracked by the RBI. e-Rupee wallet focuses on improving the financial system's infrastructure, reducing the settlement risk. Right now, let's say bank Y is giving the government security to the bank X, and rather than giving the immediate payment, the bank X can hold the money for at least 1 or 2 days. That can make losses for the bank Y because bank Y needed the immediate money. So settlement risk can be reduced because of the smart contracts that are self-executing digital agreements. Retail CBDC aim to enhance accessibility, financial inclusion, convenience for the individuals and the businesses, while the wholesale CBDC is specifically for the financial institutions for the large volume transactions that are happening between the banks or between the financial institutions. Okay, retail CBDC is intended for the general public, while the wholesale CBDC is intended for the financial institutions particularly. So this is the idea. Any confusion here? So wholesale e-Rupee or e-Rupee W, this is for financial institutions and intermediaries. It streamlines interbank settlements and large value transactions. Restricted ecosystem. Wholesale CBDC is only for the restricted ecosystem. For banks and financial institutions, it uses the programming smart contracts for the efficiency and for the fast settlements. Okay, retail e-Rupee, this is for the general public. It enhances the accessibility and financial inclusion. Digital equivalent of physical cash for everyday transactions, person to person, person to merchant transactions, available and usable for the individual businesses. Wholesale e-Rupee, it improves the financial system. It makes it more efficient, faster, as well as more transparent. Retail e-Rupee focuses on accessibility, financial inclusion and convenience. And remember that the RBI can mandate the banks to use the e-Rupee wholesale. That will be more transparent. Okay. Now, coming to the last point, that is currently there are 16 participants in the wholesale CBDC pilot, which includes banks and non-banks. And there are 3 ongoing use cases of the e-Rupee wallet, e-Rupee wholesale. So there are 3 use cases that are being seen. First is fund settlement of secondary market transactions in government securities. So basically, as I've told you, that bank X, bank Y, they are transacting in government securities. So this kind of transaction can happen through the e-Rupee wholesale, because a huge amount of money has to be transacted. Okay, bank Y is also selling the government securities to the bank Z, and bank Z has to pay 50 crores to the bank Y. So this kind of multiple transactions, large volume of transactions can happen through the e-Rupee wallet. So there are 3 ongoing use cases. First is the fund settlement of secondary market transactions, where the banks are involved, where the huge financial institutions are involved. Settlement of interbank lending. See, in the call money market is the short-term market. Call money is usually the overnight lending and borrowing that is happening between the banks. Okay, notice money is usually the 14-day for the 14-day lending and borrowing that is happening between the banks. Okay, so in the call money market, that is the short-term market for the lending and borrowing between the banks. Basically, the call money overnight lending and borrowing is happening between the banks, so the faster transaction can happen through the e-Rupee wallet. Okay, so settlement of interbank lending and borrowing in the call money market, this can also be possible through the e-Rupee wholesale. Now, tokenized issuances and settlement of certificate of deposit. Certificate of deposit is a product. Certificate of deposit is a product that is offered by the banks that provides an interest rate premium or a higher interest rate in exchange for the customer agreeing to leave a deposit untouched for a predetermined period of time. So there is a certificate of deposit that you have deposited rupees 10 crore with the bank, and this money is deposited for the period of 1 year. Okay, till 1 year you cannot touch your money, but you will get higher interest rate from the bank. So this is the certificate of deposit. You have done the deposit for a time period. Lump sum amount has been given to the bank. Now, what will happen that tokenized issuances and settlement of certificate of deposit, like the certificate of deposit tokens can be released, so that the whole process, the release, the settlement, the issuance of the certificate of deposit, the settlement of the certificate of deposit can happen in the digital manner, and the e-Rupee wholesale is used to keep the money and such. So this is the idea that these are the three use cases that are being seen for the e-Rupee wholesale. Fund settlement between the banks for the settlement of secondary market transactions, or between the financial institutions, the settlement of secondary market transaction can happen through the e-Rupee wholesale. Settlement of interbank lending in the short term market, in the call money market, tokenized issuances and settlement of certificate of deposit tokens can be released, so that they are issued and settled in the digital format. Okay, so this is it. Try to answer this question. This is the first question in front of you. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? That you have to tell me. Any confusion anyone has? Any confusion anyone? So this is the first question. I hope you will be easily able to answer this question. Which of the above statements is or are correct? That you have to tell me. Okay. Now this is the second question. Consider the following statements about the difference between e-Rupee and UPI. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? So this is also about e-Rupee and UPI. The third question is a descriptive question. Okay, that I will show you. Chalo. So this is the second question. Do give the right answer of the homework question in the comment section below. Chalo. The third question, or the first descriptive question, is that the digital rupee combines the advantage of physical cash with digital technology. Discuss this statement with reference to its offline functionality and programmability features. So basically, I have given you two homework question, two MCQs as the homework question, and one descriptive question. This descriptive question, write the descriptive question, and all the material has been given to you. You can check your descriptive answer from the material in the PPT. Okay, and these two homework questions, the MCQs, do answer the MCQs in the comment section below. I hope all of you will be able to answer the correct answer. Okay, and these kind of, like, RBI has released the FAQs for different important topics. So do you want me to take such a session, or do you think that okay, there is no requirement to take such a session in the future? Because Digital Rupee, like the RBI has released various FAQs recently. RBI has updated various FAQs for the different important topics, but the most important was Digital Rupee, in which many of the students get confused how the Digital Rupee is different from the UPI, how the ecosystem works and such. So that's why I brought a session on the Digital Rupee. Do you want me to take more sessions on the updated FAQs? That is what you have to answer in the comment section. Okay, so in the do answer in the comment section the homework answers, as well as do tell me that do you want such kind of sessions on the important updated FAQs. All the updated FAQs you do not have to go through, but if it is on an important topic, that you should go through. Okay, chalo. So this is it. Thank you everyone. Thank you for joining the session, and I hope you enjoyed the session thoroughly. We will meet in the next session now. on Tuesday.